for a second there, like about 9 o'clock last night, I'm thinking, well, just forget about everything that I wrote up because we're going to have a different conversation. I mean, but things have recovered, right? I mean, obviously, the stocks have recovered. Oil is back down. Gold, it didn't move as big as I thought it was going to, honestly. Bitcoin obviously was under 60K. That's back. So, and bonds, obviously, I mean, that's the difference, right? Like we've seen oil move up, we've seen stocks move down, but bonds can go either way. Obviously, last night was real fear. So, really interesting and fascinating end of the week. A combination of hawkish Fed and strong economic data is putting this rate cut situation into question now. And I didn't change this line from last night. Crude oil falls to 3-week low after de-escalation of tensions in the Middle East. So all of this together, S&P's down for the 5th day in a row, 3rd week in a row, biggest decline since October. What? Before we even mention Netflix, what do you think about all this stuff?
Well, last night, I mean, it sure, last night, I felt the first day they opened down big is the day that they're probably going to bottom. And this was going to be the first day that they opened down big, but now I don't even know.
Yeah, because we basically look like you're going to open unchanged.
Yeah, we're going to probably open up.
Right.
I mean, usually when we see overnight moves like this and the fear happens overnight, right? I mean, this is usually kind of, I don't want to call it done because it's not done.
It's usually an event. It's usually like that's your bottom tick.
It's the puke, right?
Yeah.
Usually, and that whole big nice.
I mean, there was some puking last night.
Absolutely,
there was some puking, and let's put it into perspective here. Mostly, quote unquote, professional traders, right? Future trader who has access to the market, wants to trade all the time. And by professional trader, I'm not saying.
Yeah, those weren't retail.
It's not retail. So when you say the professional trader or the trader in the know has all the information and knows what's going to happen ahead of time. You're seeing here a humongous move to the wrong side. And yes, for every seller, there has to be a buyer. But that was capitulation last night.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't scoopy people shooting from strength going, oh, this is a great opportunity. I'm brilliant.
Yeah. Those are people who were massive short puts that were selling futures to kind of cover their position.
That's correct.
Yeah.
There was people taking losses, hedging positions. That was not initiating new positions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually...
I'm sure you're going to get the person on Twitter or TikTok or wherever who's going to say, what a genius.
I thought about selling them last night when they were down. I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I figured it was something like that, but I didn't really care. But when they were down, I was watching.
Only humanity. Why would you care? Go ahead.
They were down 20, and then they were down 30, and then 35, and they were. It was a big. Somebody was pounding them. So when they were down 40, I almost pulled the trigger, and the next thing you know, they're like down 60. And I'm like, I missed that trade. So
the height I saw down 82. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I saw them down 80. They were down 87 at one point.
Yeah.
But I was trading bonds then. I was just liquidating bonds.
Yeah.
Because you had a position. You had a good position.
If you didn't have a position, I would have never sold one bond.
Right.
But if I had position, I never. They didn't look like they were getting back to 116 yesterday. I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all.
It looked like they were going to 113. So
amidst all of this, Netflix reports earnings that beat and did well. Password crackdown, they said, has delivered millions of new customers, but stock's not doing too well today. So it is what it is. Bond yields, well, if you'd ignored last night's move, they returned to 5 months highs. They've exploded over the last several weeks. April 18th, as of yesterday, you can see where the curve is. That's at the top there compared to the last 6 weeks. So obviously bonds being up bond yields being up has freaked out the market. We all know because, well, people think that rates might just stay where they are for a while. Let's move to the next slide.
It's weird. If I was Netflix, I would just say new subscribers are way up. Like the dumbest thing they say is new subscribers are way up, and we think it's mostly due to password.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what is that? Like that.
New subscribers are up. It was probably just lucky because our programming wasn't very good.
But that's like you kill your own.
Right.
Like you kill your own buzz. Like that's why the stock's down because like nobody. Okay, so you found you closed up a loophole.
Closed a loophole that was.
Yeah. Like just say, hey, new accounts are up.
Did they talk anything about their the live events that they're about to start really getting into? Did they even?
I don't
it?
listen to those.
Yeah, neither do I. I just didn't know if that had been out. I mean, I figured that would be the main thing you should talk about, honestly, because that's the main new thing, right? New live events. I mean, we're all going to be looking to tune into that one fight this summer.
No, that's why we have people on this network that listen to that stuff.
That's true. Dollar. Oh, again, another thing that's been making headlines more recently. Dollar's been on the move, and of course, all the other currencies have struggled.
Absolutely nothing.
What's absolutely nothing? What?
The dollar for me.
No. Oh, what do you don't have any currencies on right now?
I do. But the positions are all unchanged.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Now.
Last night it was stronger, I'm sure. Euro was down.
Yeah. Euro was down. Yen was not down.
Yen's about unchanged. Euro's like unchanged. Aussie's unchanged. British pounds was up a little bit. It's pretty dead. Yeah,
it is. I got a yen position. It's been annoying. It's just continuing drifting lower.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, all the commodities are basically unchanged this morning.
A lot of people, of course, are going to see this and think, oh, my God, this was the tell. But last week, single-day VIX option volume was the highest we'd seen since Volmageddon, really. I mean, that's higher than any single day during SVB, which you can see here, March 23rd. Higher than any single day during March 2020 and COVID. And so the highest volume you'd seen since the Volmageddon time period. Clearly,
interesting.
Have been trading a lot of VIX. Are worried about volatility spiking, and they got a little something last night. I mean, but whether they hedged with futures, I don't know. But yeah, that's the tell that people are worried about what's going on in the market right now.
Size enough, are we entering a two-sided action type of market? We've had it the last week or two.
You can dare to dream.
Yeah, I think we are, right? I mean, a little bit.
Seems like it. Definitely seems like it. I mean, before last night's event, we both were talking about how, we've had a 4 or 5 day move to the downside. Volatility wasn't really creeping up yet. And we were actually kind of losing our short delta in our overall positions, kind of leaning more neutral to, dare I say, on a dip, maybe even, an opening.
No, I kept short deltas, but it wasn't. Yes, we took off about half.
You reduced a lot. You reduced a lot of it. So I think we're entering a trader's market, maybe, which could be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about these type of things that
high volatility, lower prices is definitely better for us.
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about things like this because we see it. It's interesting to look at. We don't trade off. I'm not going out and trading VIX options just because I see this, but. It, to me, coupled with a couple weeks ago when we had the one day where we were up, I think 2 weeks ago when I talked to you guys, we had a day where we were up 1%. We went down 1% on the day, 2% intraday range. We've had a couple of days like that. We've had some big intraday ranges. Like that lets you know volatility's on the horizon or it has arrived. And then you have last night. I mean, there's no other question. So I do feel like we're kind of in this two-sided market action time period, it seems.
Yeah, it's a dream, like Tom said.
Can't believe NASDAQ futures are up on the day. I didn't sell them. I'm an idiot.
They're down 58 now. I mean, the S&P's down 5.
I know.
Yeah, it was quick. Happened fast. That was fast.
Yeah.
It was almost as fast as COVID. So all the things that you could trade right now, I mean, there's an abundance of it, right? Like when we look at IV compared to IV rank, I got a little dotted line here at 30 IVR, which is where we always look to sell. Just about everything's above it, whether it's an oil ETF, an OIH or XLE, utility ETF. Obviously you see XBI is one of the highest on the board right now. Took the liberty of circling SPY, Qs, and IWM. So even if you're not going to trade any individual names, there's plenty of ETF volatility to sell right now if you want. Some of them are not as liquid as others, but use caution there and liquidity. Everything's high. Except TLT, right? Like it's interesting. Bond vol isn't really high.
Yeah, you'll
Maybe
notice it's
today
a lot of ETFs in there too, right? Or is this just
It's all ETFs. It's all ETFs.
Got it.
So SLV, SMH.
Because everything else has earnings that has high IV rank if we really look in there.
I know you go through that process. You think about that a lot when you're doing your podcast every day. Typically try to stay away from earnings, right?
Every Tuesday and Thursday.
Believe it or not, once again, gold is up. Gold is working on the 5th positive week, up 8 out of 9 weeks as well. Bitcoin. It's still positive. I've recovered from last night, and the halving event is approaching sometime this weekend, either Friday or Saturday. Look, don't let me lie about it. Just look up what Ryan Grace is talking about. Ryan Fred Grace, ladies and gentlemen, knows
Ryan Fred Grace.
That's his middle name.
That's his dad's name, yeah.
Yeah. Founding family of Nordstrom is considering taking it private. Tesla recalling 3,900
Like all
trucks.
of them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how many?
Even the one that you didn't even get
You're
yet.
the one I didn't get
recalling
yet. That's right,
the
that's
Cybertruck
right.
over defective accelerator pedal pad. Stock's up though, actually, from what I saw a little bit ago. It was
Yeah, it's
went to
been
lows.
getting hammered. You're talking
Tesla,
about
it's
right?
down about $1.
Yeah. 147 and change. Yeah, you're down around $1, $1.50. Sounds right.
I put these two on the calendar because honestly, it underscores the fact that really nothing is going on next week. Although the core PCE should probably get some interest because it's the Fed's way of looking at it, and inflation, and then of course we talk about what's going on with yields and inflation. So those are the only two things going on next week. And then research this week, April 17th, and OJ, an in-depth analysis on large losses. Take a look at that.
Very good, sir.